The new mics come in. Thursday.
Are they supposed to be more
Morning, sir.
sensitive to pick up?
How are you?
Are they supposed to be more sensitive to pick up more?
Get rid of the hanging,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
go right down there.
so that way for pictures and stuff like that, don't have to worry about moving.
Oh, I never even noticed those. I just know Commissioner Gore, you can almost never hear him. He's real soft spoken.
It's because he's always on the. Down high.
He's far down his pocket.
When he sits at the center chair, you hear him behind that. If it's strict, because he's always on the edge.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
No, I'm good.
So I'm just here in case anybody has any questions about this, just for a second. I just don't think y'all are confused.
Morning, how are you, sir?
You have some for no sign.
Can you sound real quick? This is that financial policy, the all approved, since the signature on
You say please.
it.
Okay. How's life treating you, man?
Can't complain.
What are you good?
What happened, anything? Appreciate it. Not.
It's reasonably accurate. They have some algorithms built in, the zero does to adjust for people who don't know. I would say,
Saying we don't have any bids yet.
ah,
That might be one of those, bring it in and
sit and
around.
wait.
hand it in at 2 o'clock after the rain. But, I'm not feeling good about it. I have
No,
had no calls. That's the first.
nobody's reached out to us
Yeah.
either. Nobody's reached out to Patrick and them.
So-
Nobody's reached
so-
out to Debbie.
What's plan B look like if we don't have it?
We'll have to go again. We'll have to put on Zipcast and see if we can get some more interest there.
Well, the thing is, being a cell, being a specialized thing,
I just don't know that there's a lot of people that actually build them.
and like I said, so maybe reaching out to Debbie and Susan, if they have someone they know that, you know,
Yeah,
anywhere in the country that might be willing to want to do this,
right.
then we can reach out, solicit on a second, if we end up having to do a second.
Yeah.
solicitation.
I'm hoping we don't, but I'm afraid we will.
Like I say, most of the time I get a little interest
Yeah,
on everything. This one. no.
I know.
I'm glad.
And it's just weird. But this whole project's been kind of, it stinks.
Yeah, it's gonna be-
Every once in a while, I have one of those. The wastewater treatment plant is another one that has been
Yeah.
kind of a thorn in my side the entire time. Some of them just go real smoothly, no problems, but every once in a while I get
Or
one.
you gotta think a cell, like that, that's not something that happens anywhere in the state very often.
Right.
On EPA and everything else that goes along with all that.
Uh-huh.
garbage. So,
Now,
no pun intended.
Debbie did mention that they're gonna need a type 4 within the next like 5 years. So we need to start thinking about that because
How high, and you might not know, but how high does it have to be above sea level for it to be considered? Because I know that
I'm not
it's been mentioned, you can't have below a certain, because, you know, the flooding. et cetera.
Yes. I'm not sure. The good thing about the spot that the landfill is it doesn't, the roadways will flood, making that kind of an island.
Even if you're not getting in water. Yeah,
No, it's been
that would have
good.
been the test.
Yes, it's been good. Ike, Harvey, Imelda, no issues. The roadways flooded on
Are you
either
sure?
side, but was really a problem.
Mhm.
We'll see. I mean, I hate to delay it even another little bit of time, but we may not have a choice.
I know, yeah, I said, y'all done everything good in the history, so.
Yeah. Yeah, we may have to start Googling landfill construction companies
Okay.
and see, like you said, throughout the country. I
Okay.
mean, it is such a specialized
You
thing.
gonna be here to get started and then run off? So which judge has got further? Oh, so he can be double timing too, man. Where's he doing his probate?
He may take a break, takes a break,
Okay.
but just to let you know, I'm not here, I can't be. Yeah.
All right.
Today's
I can
day.
just unplug it.
I appreciate that, with all, trying to.
And happy belated
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
When was it?
Sunday,
So you're August what?
14th.
I'm on the second.
All right, it's a good month to be born.
Yeah, my baby's August 29th.
Both of my boys are,
How you
Hank's
meet?
August 29th.
Is he really?
Yeah, Max is the
I
31st.
think one of Kate's little boys is also
Yeah.
August 29th.
Courtney's is today.
Yes, I saw that. I saw her little
We
cake.
should just shut the county down for August.
I
It's too
know.
hot anyhow.
Well,
too
it's a
hot.
good month to be born. So,
Ours is 26, so yeah, it's a good one.
that's right.
Leo's, nothing but Leo.
Well,
It explains a lot about my personality.
I don't think
doesn't
she
it?
qualifies as the Leo, my daughter, 26, I don't think. it's
No, they're whatever's next. Is it Virgo next?
Virgo, whatever the heck it is there.
Both of my boys are Virgos or whatever comes next. I only know myself. I'm not very good at that.
Yeah, I'm saying, I know my wife's, and I know mine, that's all I need to.
Yeah, I don't pay too much attention to
I
that.
don't either. Good morning. Okay, so I didn't know this school safety thing.
Okay.
They already did it on the,
No, I'm up with anything.
you know, in the elementary school, most of those rooms have a window.
Yes.
You know, those little devices. You can put a car
Uh-huh.
in.
Yeah.
Give them one.
So,
So they could get out if they need
yeah,
to.
so I don't disagree with you at all. We talked about doing a kind of the opposite of that, putting a film on the windows so that nobody could use that to access the building. There are so many. But my concern is what you just said. It is such a good point of exit.
Once they get in that room.
Yes, and almost
No.
every room, if not every room, well, I guess the kindergarten is the only one.
Yes, there's a couple, you're right, I hadn't thought about
They
that.
all have that window as an exit route, and so that would be a very simple solution. So we're working through some different ways to improve
Yeah,
safety for sure. And I know that, Mr. Wagner met with, the sheriff, so.
yeah, and I saw that on Facebook and that's what kind of,
You have to sit in on that training in San Antonio on building new schools with safety in mind.
I didn't, because I think it was the first day and I was all day in the new school board.
Great.
Yeah,
It's just common sense stuff you never think about.
Yes.
Help in a
yes.
situation like that.
Because we're building a new elementary early education and but we're using Create, who's y'all use.
Did our two.
Sir.
They did a great job.
Yes,
I'm in
I really
there.
like them a lot. I mean, and
I got
obviously
a
I work
time or
with a
two,
lot of
I don't know
architects and
about the other
engineers,
stuff.
so I like them.
Yeah, I guarantee you that.
Yes,
Consideration.
yeah, I saw y'all are an A. We were rated an A as well. Y'all are 5 points higher than us, but we got 90.
I think everybody in the county did well.
East Chambers is a B. Well, they did, but they're B.
Plus.
Yeah, but
It's a big plus.
yeah, we'll take it. But you know, life's a competition, so I'm just
Oh,
glad
yeah.
we were an A. I was a little worried because our test scores weren't exactly where I would have liked them to be, but we're still dealing with that COVID
Well, you still have to go,
transition.
And the good thing is y'all kept kids in school for the most part, that helped.
Yeah,
Districts that didn't do that,
Yeah.
let them stay home for a year or whatever it was, I feel bad for them, I really do. And the kids are the ones suffering, so.
Well, thank you. Oh, I don't like
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Only the one.
Exactly.
Right, so that was kind of my thought.
Area.
It's that it does provide a nice exit for
Mhm.
we've had 9% growth since May. We've had,
Well, the high school, the whole, everybody's schedule's messed up because the freshman class is no good, like every single kid just about their schedules.
really, they had.
Oh, yeah. My kid didn't even have one class.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
You just don't have
Yeah.
the.
No, like I was like, what are you gonna do? Go home? I mean, you're in 10th grade, you have to stay up there.
I bet he regrets telling me. Dang, could've gone home.
He's my really honest one. He couldn't, you know. Right.
Hey, how old are you?
But I think that was,
Hundred.
I think that's the gist of it. is
Before we
that it's
started-
so much fun, so little
I
time.
think
I do too.
the week before, maybe the weekend was when we had 144.
Morning, sir. How are you?
registered.
Well, when we were at the senior center, they were showing up, but there had been 10
Fine, thanks.
in the senior class. Like,
Yeah.
in the last week, you know, very, very, you said very late. That's just one class.
Well, yesterday we had 14 in there.
Yes, yes, yes. The
Hard copy.
yeah, Alien Brooks bringing it now. They're printing it now.
Am I gonna need this?
You know, at least the big one.
Almost read it back.
Like a week did. She was like, I just. Oh, yeah, the shit. Right. Exactly. So that's-
Thank you, I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I'm not an expensive tool, you know.
Yeah, we talked about it, we've asked for that to be a seen. So we'll be going on this year.
Oh, good. Billy, how you doing?
Yeah.
Sure.
Which. It's real. It's, you know, I don't know.
Right, that's just some, yeah, any advantage that we can do is. And that's.
You might print out more.
Right.
We should be able to.
I have one hard copy that I can make copies of.
Yeah, Alien Brooks are putting them out. Yeah. We're bringing some hard
You,
copies.
you bring some hard copies.
Your
playground. Sorry.
One increment.
Well, you have a copy of it, right?
Hey, that's all we can do. You know, and I'm a firm believer,
Yeah,
I'm a firm believer in brainstorming and sharing
Yes.
opinions and different points of view. Because I think that we all come from different backgrounds, different areas of expertise. And somebody can open my eyes to something I never
Oh,
thought about. Never occurred to me.
right, and that can even spur someone on to another idea or project.
Absolutely.
Huh?
But I don't know what you could. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
So something that is designed.
That's a very good, simple,
Yeah, this is simple.
and like you.
Oh, he probably made 40 though.
90% of that we sell.
Commissioner Collins.
Not at least, and then there's some that are in the dollars.
Newer edition.
And I don't know what you do about that, but like you said, vast majority of them do have.
Good idea.
I don't think it would even be, not that you would put that, but I don't think that's- I mean, even if it was, whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. They're like $10.
Paying.
Right, put them in the teacher good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's an excellent idea. Like I said, it's a standing, update, so. Hey, any other thoughts, please?
Oh, well, they're pretty random sometimes.
Story of my life, but I, you know, I think we all appreciate it, like I said. Collaborating is the only way we grow,
Exactly.
even if with differing opinions. I'm a firm believer in that having conversations. That's how we grow.
I'm a firm believer in
Yeah.
you can work on anything and have a job.
Yeah, I think say that.
I like this.
An emergency.
That's what this country is built on. So, I'm 100% for it.
We're trying to understand numbers. It's not really-
Yeah, I'm not very.
He said, I'll fly, you know, if you want to. He flies to have it.
And we're paying twice.
But
Because I had a lot of department heads request projects for next year that they probably didn't request in their budget requests. So I think that it would behoove us to, at our next department head meeting, go.
There is land available next to the fire department to add on, so that's something I would like to add to the
Yes,
list as well.
So I try to take a holistic view, and you'll notice that under my department, as well as population trends. So I try to think about where areas were growing, changes that needed to be made, when I reasonably expected expansion to be necessary.
I mean, a lot of this on here was not actually stuff that we needed on here, that we need to go back through and take out and put on a different list.
Yeah,
So I think we need to get a committee together
sure.
to go back through and do that, separate this out, that is actually building plans for the future, and the rest of it was stuff
Yes.
that we'll try budgeting in the future.
Yes, I think there's two major categories of things that we're gonna need to look at, and that is, infrastructure for county departments.
Mhm.
And then infrastructure and development for benefiting residents. And so those are two kind of main areas that, we got requests in. I went ahead and gave it to you as a comprehensive list. But I agree, it's something that needs further evaluation and a committee to look at. And I'm happy to be on the committee, although I do think we need probably people who have more expertise in construction and building life cycles than I do.
Well, I mean,
I'll be the scribe and put it together.
me personally, I appreciate the effort you put into this.
Sure, no
You jump
problem.
on everything we ask and you do it, and with the limited staff and resources you have, so I think that's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's a start. We do appreciate it, Sam.
Now, Wendy, got our work cut out for us.
You do. You do. And the tough thing, like I said, is some of those 23 requests, nobody actually submitted in their budget requests. And so that's going to be kind of a challenge, because you're going to have to look at it and not have an actual number tied to it.
Well, some of them in here, I mean, are tied to the Justice Center, the library,
They are, yes.
Pilot Lounge, and some of that stuff was put in here, but it's being addressed now through grant.
Yes. And I tried to make a note, if you go into the narrative section of the packet, I tried to make a note that this is being handled through this already. This is a potential funding source. So I did try to kind of provide you a narrative of that. Like you said, the Pilot Lounge for 23 is already underway. In fact, George and I just talked about that. That'll be bid out here pretty well. It's going through a co-op, so that'll be taken care of pretty soon. The Old River Boat Ramp we're working on through a grant. We've been working on that. But then you kind of have some additional stuff coming in, like the back of the building parking lot at the Cedar Bayou Annex. Kirk Rich is getting some additional equipment donated, and he's just asking for a secure area. That's the reason for that. Security at the financial complex is a conversation that comes up quite a bit. That's a request that's in here. So one reason I did prioritize the refacing of the Anahuac office of the district clerk is because I felt like that was kind of a short-term maintenance project that would ensure and extend the life cycle of that building. Because if we've got the interior walls or the facing underneath open to the elements, it could potentially deteriorate. But yeah, so any questions? I tried to make it as self-explanatory as I could.
I have a question, I think, Commissioner Cole. When you want to look at this, Judge, and who wants to be on the committee?
You and Billy. Sam.
That's fine with me. Who else? How many do you want? 3, 4, 5?
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be a small group.
I mean, we need someone from maintenance or
I agree.
Mike Leslie, somebody like that.
I think Mike was.
Should be Mike.
I
I heard that part.
And then I would think maybe somebody from purchasing as well, just because they do the procurement. So George, if you don't mind
I
that.
think one first thing is we need to go through and separate out the ones by the funding source, the ones that we're looking at grant monies
I
for,
would agree.
and put them in a priority list. But we need to determine very soon, the stuff that we need now and start figuring out how we're going to fund it and start looking at how these other ones roll on and funding source.
Samantha, if you want to take the lead on that group, you can send us an email and let everybody know who's in the group and whenever we can meet.
Okay.
Let us know.
Yeah, we can do that for sure.
Yeah, you can chair the committee if you don't mind. Thank you.
Anything else you need from me? Do you want me to hang out in case you have questions, or are you done, or? It don't matter.
I think we're done with this part of it.
Okay.
I guess anybody, I mean, we got what we wanted and we appreciate getting that. And now we got to take it.
Yeah, the hard thing is for you guys to figure out the unrequested stuff and if you're gonna fund it or not, because that's a challenge. But again, next department head meeting, I would like for us to talk about that because it does seem to be a major source of confusion. So,
And there's 2 on the radar that we know we're going to have fun for next year. That's the rest of the West Chambers County expansion.
Yes.
New building. And then Cedar Bayou.
and I
And we
know,
talked about that during the budget.
And also, I mean, you and I discussed this here, Judge, we've got to do Road and Bridge fund out here for where the new library and school is going to be. We got to get a cost analysis on that to see what it's going to
it's
cost.
gonna be a major expense.
To build a turn lane for the school. So that's not on here either.
It is, that's on that,
Oh, is
there,
it?
I added it in,
Okay.
yes. Because I think you're gonna be looking at a lot more than you think you are on that, because the road is very narrow and
The
then
ditches are very deep.
I can't tell you how many times I've actually been, you can just keep it, actually been run off the road on that road. People just driving too fast, high school students mostly, but the drainage is gonna have to be addressed as well. And I think you probably should think about, I mean, and this is just me meddling in everybody's business, like I always do, put in sidewalks, especially if that's kind of the area you're gonna put the library in,
I think we're gonna put culverts in that ditch all the way down through there.
and curb and gutter it.
Curb and gutter it.
Yeah, the other project that I did just kind of want to point out to you guys, and again, meddling as I always do, is pretrial services and probation. I know they're out of space there. That I listened to,
We gotta find them something now.
that's why I went ahead and put them on 23, understanding you'd probably be working on it sooner, but I just wanted to get that in you guys' head too, that both of those two departments are outgrowing their spaces. So just kind of put that on y'all's brain. If you need me,
And we're gonna be freeing up some office space when we get the new Justice Center online.
yes, so even something
A
temporary.
lot of people are just gonna have to get by until that comes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tried to take that into account when I was prioritizing these projects, that some of this is gonna be fixed when people move over to the Justice Center, which is just a couple of years out, so.
So was somebody printing out that narrative?
I just gave it to you.
You did?
I didn't, Tommy, you keep them both.
Oh, I mean, keep
Well, there are two of
They should be coming down.
Oh, I might think about
But yeah, so it is, well, I needed a snack after writing it. But so again, it's written in kind of 3 different formats, because I understand that everybody's brain works differently. You've got your spreadsheet, you've got your chronological list of projects, and then you've got your projects by department. So you have a couple different ways to look at it and think about it.
pictures in there.
I'm sorry. I'm talented, but when you scratch it out. That's about all I can do for
You
you.
know,
So
pictures worth 1,000 words.
that's true, but I can only do so much. But, okay, well, I'm gonna get out of y'all's hair. If y'all need me, just call me and I'll.
I appreciate it.
No, I heard that. She's being smart aleck.
What did I say? Get out of your hair.
I'm talking to Mark. Yeah.
That's funny.
We formed a budget committee, it's myself and Lauren and Tommy. Tom just happened to be there, for 2 other meetings previous to it, but anyway, he jumped in, Aaron and the auditor's office, and so what Aaron has brought is what they formulated that came out of that committee. I think we had 2 days in a row. And several hours going through making proposed cuts and evaluating things. And I'm gonna let Aaron explain to you what he's got here for us. Oh, I gotta go do probate. And then I'm gonna step out and do probate. Be back.
Okay, Eric, we on the page here?
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to go through and tell you what he's giving you today.
Just what came out of the appointment committee. So you can see on the top left, that kind of your capital, what was requested, and then what's been proposed. And payroll, you can see that there's been significant.
Okay, let me just say this here, or ask this here question. I see what was requested. I see what was proposed. What did we cut? Where's the list of what was cut out of that?
Yeah. So just kind of quickly, so you got your new employees, so I had that list here, your new employees that has been kind of like, okay. And then just the Road Bridge General, golf, airport, solid waste, fire and EMS, they're like revenue minus expenses. So you can see on these next 2 pages, this $23.
Can we go back to that page just 1 minute, if we could? And go back over to the right, and in the upper right, you show road and bridge and general fund revenue, expenses and deficit. So is that even after these cuts, we're still looking at a $5.5 million deficit,
Yes.
even after the cuts?
But I think I might have something for you to look at to maybe.
Does any of this encumber a tax note?
No.
Okay,
Not yet.
okay, so if we did a tax note, the capital stuff would fall under it, then we wouldn't be at a deficit.
We would still be at a deficit in the general fund, about 700,000.
Okay.
And then road and bridge would not be at a deficit. I think everybody would be clear of deficits except for the general fund. I think when I checked last time, it was about 700,000. Roughly would be the deficit for the general fund. If you did tax note and move all the
Or
capital,
the equipment.
yes,
So this including putting anything into the general fund from our tax revenue?
yes. Yes, sir. And that's revenue from general at 59 million. That does include the rates.
Where we at?
49, 1 or 49, 1
One,
Have you guys changed pages?
sorry, but yeah, I was telling you the rate. But anyways, the cuts are on the next 3 pages. You know, the 2020 salary request, the 2023 output request. So you can see where things are cut.
But right now, all of our capital projects are in the general fund. Or in road and bridge, capital is in general.
Yes.
And I assume this includes a across the board $2,500.
Yes, sir.
Which one are we looking at? The capital request or the salary?
But I was letting y'all know where the cuts were made. And if there were any kind of increases on salary.
So the ones that's cut are the ones that's lines through.
Yes, they have line through it or they have a next on the proposed salary.
Right. Jimmy, I hate to pick on you, but we gave Lana a raise last year and I did not get a raise for my assistant last year. So, you know, we agreed.
And we agreed last year to go ahead and split that this year and I thought we was giving yours a raise this year.
Yeah, but I don't have it on here.
We can, now's the time to adjust it.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey,
Now's the time to add it if you're asking.
Amanda.
Time because, I listed everything.
You hear me, Ann?
I can list everything that mine does, and I know y'all's is, it's all of them like our right hand.
Yeah, that's across the county. I think we can all make that argument.
That's what I'm saying. It's all, they're all our right hand, so I mean, it's well deserved. Now I asked, and I'm on the salary request. I'm gonna go down to maintenance. We hired the Mike Gafford to oversee the Justice Center, which I know he's doing other stuff. But if we're gonna build that P3, why are we wanting to hire another project manager to oversee that when we already we hired one, and that was his intentions last time.
Well, he's gonna be getting freed up. I mean, some because we're gonna be through with the West Side project.
That's what I'm saying. Why are we hiring another project manager when, I mean, we have Mike, Roy, Cade, Mike Gafford. So I'm just asking.
I don't know, that's a good question.
We don't. So that's a big salary. And not including benefits, so.
Well, we still got some cutting to do. Oh, I'm pretty sure all trial services, we needed to do the expansion because we needed a new employee in there, but I see that's been scratched.
Yes, sir.
What did we do?
It's on page 6.
Yeah, I mean, that was one that personally I felt was
I
one of
thought
the
that,
most needed anywhere.
I thought that was, yeah, I thought the pre-trial was warranted.
So
Yeah, I don't think it was.
we didn't cut that.
It's cut here,
Yeah. What page is that on, Billy?
6, middle of the page.
There it is. Yeah, I mean, of all of them, I thought that was doing
I agree. I think that's one of at least the top 3 of the whole deal.
Bless you.
Bless you. I think you said that's 6.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Which one do you want, new employee or part-time?
New employee.
Yeah, it was a new employee. Cause that caseload there is just,
Well, listen to them, all they have to do, I mean, with coming in and checking and tracking and everything else that they do, it is.
well, they track everybody wearing any kind of a tracking device. If we could just stop crime, we'd be all right.
And she is not getting that money, she's not getting it. Anything that's transferred will increase.
So, talking
Now,
about
all of this here, I'm sorry, is plus the 2,500 that we agreed to, right?
I think I've answered my own question.
What?
Some of the increases that were requested some of them were scratched, but I think some of them were also lowered also.
Yes.
Some of them were just like they requested a 2-step or a 3-step and they decided on them.
One step, yeah. Might have to do more.
Yeah, so you can look, probably one that pretty easy to capture would be the EMS on the first page. So,
Where they requested, yeah, I see.
yeah, you can see the increase, and this is what we proposed over here, so.
Now, one thing this does include, let me verify that, the increase for a new patrol deputy on the west side, did you put in revenue for that too?
So. No, I didn't actually put it in here in the budget, just because I knew if I wash out, if insurance can't pay for it, I just know how much they would pay, how much, we would have to expend, so. That's one thing I kind of wanted to find out with it, to see.
Well, that's, that's about, you said it's gonna be an $800,000 deficit in the general fund, and that's just about that.
Well, the 5 deputies for industry, I didn't include it. Only because I thought that it might be a wash, and because I
It
didn't,
will be a watch.
and I didn't really know the whole details of it just yet.
Well, we're going to approach it to get CCIDs to fund it in K-10.
Correct.
If they are not cooperative, then we're going to fund it through the tax abatements. We will just decrease the amount of tax abatements we're doing and fund it with that, what we would have done otherwise. I mean, it's going to get funded from the.
One way or another.
One way or another. Either,
Let me get over to that. I see,
We're on the same.
either voluntarily or involuntarily.
So like, maybe just like a lesser abatement for them, or just through their abatement agreement. that they pay. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So we'll get it funded. So those numbers are or are not in here.
Or not.
The revenue's not, but the expense,
It is not either.
neither one. Okay.
okay, so these five on on page 8, yeah. So on page 8, the ones up at the top that says industry, they're gonna be doing one.
That's what I'm looking at. They say industry. We also was requested to put a new full-time on the east side. And,
We'd asked for 4 new patrol deputies.
right,
Yeah, there's, after 4 patrol deputies, they cut it down to 2. And then they asked for 5 for the industrial partners that pay for those deputies, so that's the 5.
Okay.
So they had 4 in there.
All right, so where's the industry ones? What's gonna be their job? What I'm saying, what are they gonna be doing?
patrol the, high freight traffic and vehicles around all the industrial area.
Okay, so if we got them there, we could roll that one that's there to the east side.
No, that's basically adding nothing.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
No.
Okay,
And we're gonna get it funded from the I've already approached 2 of the CCIDs about it, and one of them has responded favorably. The other one I'm still waiting on a response from.
okay. I noticed, and I talked with the sheriff about this here. This is a good idea. But the signage over there on Fisher Road.
It's not good.
It's not good at all.
Huh?
Where we come out of that warehouse district there, across that road, we need to have a 4-bay sign that says trucks or whatever, you can't turn right, you gotta go left. And
You can go sit down there.
Well, we can do that on the roadside because we control that.
yeah, we need to do that.
But on Texas side, we got a request in now to do it on 2354, but they so far have not been in favor of doing that.
But I'm just saying, where they come out on Fisher Road, we ought to be able to put a sign over there in reflective.
No, I agree.
Reflective, and we could get, if someone could get it drawn up, the sheriff, or however one's worded, get it put up. So I mean, they know, put an X, you got to go left.
Yeah.
So,
No, I understand, but that's still not patrolling. I mean,
I know, but I'm just saying, we need to give them drivers a little more heads up.
Building river wouldn't sit down.
Oh,
Not that they're not gonna do it anyway.
those drivers know it.
That's right.
Yeah, their GPS, they've got it in their trucks. It tells them what's weighted roads and what's not. They know.
You will be ticketed.
Well, that's the problem.
That's the problem. They're not being ticketed. Well, I shouldn't say that, but there's not enough fear in them because they're.
I did see him pull one over yesterday.
Good.
Yeah.
And I talked to the sheriff, he was down there working.
Yeah, oh, I know.
It worked.
His hands are full.
I told him,
So I'm gonna ask the question again, Aaron, because I'm a little bit confused. They're on the spreadsheet and they're over in the calculation, but you're saying they're still not included on the front sheet that we looked at.
Right, correct.
Okay, it's in this, it's just not carried over to that.
Exactly, yeah,
Okay.
I figured either way, should be walked out, so it wouldn't have changed that.
Okay, I got you. All right, thanks.
okay, so I mean, I'd like to, I'll probably just ask the sheriff that if we add 2 new patrol deputies to the east side, how's that gonna fall on this shift? Because he asked for 4 to make a 4, rotation. So how's that gonna work for him? I'll get with him on that. Now, on this industry stuff, Billy, are they purchasing all the co-van, the cars? I mean, everything's gonna be calculated in there, at no expense to the county.
$825,000 is what we're estimating for this year. What we're gonna ask for. And I'm going to, thinking about how to split that cost up amongst them is make it based on the percentage of tax abatements that they have received within their parks.
That's fair.
Could you just get a new van?
Yeah. So I'm not getting another new vehicle. We're gonna buy another fleet car. I'm gonna get a hand-me-down.
Oh,
So that's not,
two numbers added together, that's gonna buy the new fleet car and that'll be the hand.
I think that's 2 new fleet cars. Yeah, cause I told my I want to bring a vehicle. So
Well, that ain't enough to buy one, Harley.
I think they're looking at
Oh, that's maybe.
increase.
All right.
I'm with Prius Golf.
And the precinct 3 vehicle, it's off of page 1 on the capital request. Are those two new fleet vehicles?
Yeah, I think the fleets, I think it was the two new fleet and then send one to.
He said he's getting a hand me down.
Yeah, I don't want a new vehicle.
So we're getting JP2 and JP6 new vehicles. And we're gonna move those over, or we can move those over. The vehicles.
Yes,
To attack. I just. Where's the road and bridge, Winnie Yard?
you're talking about what? To purchase it?
Yeah,
No, that's gonna, if all that
that's what
goes,
happened this year.
yes, if all that goes through, it's gonna come out of, Bobby's existing budget,
Okay, for this year.
yes.
So we got $2 million in here for road and bridge. For a new shop. We taking that out of general fund?
Good question.
So it's coming out of Road and Bridge right now, and they've got that.
But they're running a deficit.
2.1. So, I mean,
Yeah, they got a deficit of 2.4 million.
I don't know if they really decided, I don't think they really decided which way to go on the warehouse. Now, I mean, if you moved all that of capital, put it in a tax note, then they would be okay, they would. They wouldn't have that deficit anymore, but I didn't know if you guys wanted to build a warehouse or do the equipment, I mean, that's.
I don't know. I think we need to look closer at that. And if we're going to do it, we need to, we need to fund things that are capital projects. We don't need to be pulling them out of our operating budget to do that. We need to fund them on the capital side. And that means debt. That would help our bottom line a lot. Need to get with Bobby about that.
Yeah.
On that and
Yeah, my understanding the building's about to fall down.
I
Yeah,
think,
so,
I'm not saying we don't need it. I
the
just think
veins
how
and
we
stuff.
fund it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
We got to fund, we got a few buildings we know we got to fund. We know we got to fund a community building. We know we got to fund the health, not the health service, but the tax office. And, we need a warehouse. Well, we're building a warehouse now, but we need this. Maybe we look at it, how we fund it.
Really is our community building our,
Yeah, I mean, it's priority one. But, we just gonna have to figure out how we're gonna fund it. We are going forward with the sale of McLeod Park. It's finally clear.
Yeah.
So, we got some revenues coming in from it. They're supposed to be used for the ball fields. We have some for the building. We just gotta see how we're gonna fund the balance of it. But if we got to do any kind of note whatsoever, I'm saying we roll up the buildings that we've got to get and we go ahead and fund all of those at one time and just the ones we gotta get. That's the three I know we got.
Did we get with these departments I see on here? They're still paying installments on some of the skid steer and mini excavator. Did we reach out to them? Because this installment is $7,500. And because I'm not a huge fan of the buyback program because they give you $300-400 a year and we pay a ton of money. And then when you turn them in, I think they make you pay extra for the slack when you turn them back in. But we need to look at just purchasing them, because I've seen machines out there with 4,000 or 5,000 hours on them that are, and we could save money by doing that instead of spending 7,000, 8,000 a year.
What are you looking at?
On the solid waste down here.
Yeah, solid waste of that.
Those,
So,
and Parks does it as well. So I'm just curious if we can save some money just by go ahead and purchasing the machine outright and try that for a while, which I know machinery is hard to get right now, so. But when we turn them in, we have to pay a certain amount to turn them in to get another.
But what will that do for our budget now?
I don't know, that's just something I want to look at. for the-
No, I don't disagree with you, but instead of being $7,500, all of a sudden that's gonna be $75,000.
Yeah, that's right. I want to look at it for probably next year. And I think George could probably help us with that. couldn't George?
And 75,000 is low, so just remember that figure is probably 6 figures.
But depending on what size they have, but that's probably.
it'll be 100.
I didn't mean that literally, George. I just,
You
I do know.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on anything? Do we need to go back through it line by line, or we good on these two deals here, the capital, request?
I don't think we're good until
I know,
we see what the bottom line is and how we do it. I'd say anything's on the table right now.
Well, the salary increase, one thing we did do, we pulled the increases from last year, and anybody that got an individual increase last year wasn't gonna get one this year. So, we hadn't stuck to that wholeheartedly. So, that's one thing. The capital, I think we still need some work on the capital. So maintenance for sure. You know, we need to look. So this extension office, Parks Warehouse, which we'd wanted to build a warehouse out there to get all the stuff out of the community building. So those guys have to move that stuff around all year long, moving it here, moving it there. So we looked at a warehouse for them. Along with that, the extension office trailer is pretty close on the verge of falling down, so it needs to be replaced. So do we go ahead and incorporate offices into the Parks Warehouse, make that a permanent structure? So, and that's where a lot of that cost is right there, that $480,000. So.
But that's not drug over. That's not even drug over. It's not over on the approved side. It's just upper.
So it's not in the $645,000.
It's not.
No, it's not.
So that would push us even more.
It says no fee. IT, see? No FFP. Yeah, no furniture fixtures. But I mean, Jimmy's right, it's not even in the number, it's not calculated. Yeah, the amount requested was 1.8, but it's only 645,000.
I wish Samantha was here now. That, I mean, what do we have left in that ARPA fund that we could maybe draw some?
I was thinking about that a while ago for this. We got, she sent that to me.
Yeah.
All of it last week.
Pretty much dedicated. I mean, not that we can change it, so we can easily change it, but,
Well, I'd like to look at it at least, and there may be something we could maybe push on.
so she could have sent that out.
She
to
did, she sent
everybody.
it.
Or forgot project update. So obligated, we got 6.3 obligated out of 8.5.
Can you print that out, Tommy, or have someone print that out? So we can look at it?
Yeah. So they got the landfill sale, communications tower, the solid waste expansion, new shop, which we're already doing. Yeah, we're doing that.
Oh, we're in design, or we,
Uh,
or just in the,
yeah, I think we're just getting,
I saw 3 million,
engineer.
I saw 3 million on there for the ladies facility. I thought we were taking that out of 091 or some of it.
Well, we don't know what the lady facility is gonna cost yet. That's the scary thing.
Yeah, but I was saying 3 million was tagged for that, so out of the office.
It is not on the ARPA fund list. For women's jail,
It was, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. it
Yeah,
does, doesn't it?
we're at.
Find it.
It's one she sent out on August 11th,
Yeah,
to the last list I had.
yeah, I got it right here. See, you're just more organized than me, that's all.
If anybody's got it, forward it to Aaron, we can print it out,
Okay.
please.
What date do they set?
Coming your way, Aaron.
I'm just saying, we've got our second payment, haven't we, Aaron?
Yes.
Okay, and
Yeah, see the budgeted cost, $3 million for modular female.
Yeah.
It's not showing it's obligated yet, though.
It's not obligated, but it's in there, so I'm
Yeah.
just curious if any of that's available.
Well, yeah, but we got $8 million in there. I mean, 17 million in it, but we only got 8 million to spend. So we got 6 million obligated. And so that only leaves us a balance of 2.2 million. Yeah, and that modular jail's not in. Aaron, where we getting the funding from for the? I thought it was ARPA funds.
I thought it was coming out 091.
For what?
Is 091, we decided to fund it out 091?
The one in jail.
Yeah. That's why it's not over here. It's not carried over there.
Well, these two lists don't match up.
And
Recovery plan and the project tracking don't match.
Yes, it did.
Who is this?
no, some stuff has got changed around since the recovery
But
plan.
before we spend $3,000. Okay, let me know, please. Thank you.
Okay, we're both excited about it. Both of those names.
Thank you, sir. Still like that bird and ball, these glasses on. Transitional.
17,886,000. 17,886,000. But this is obligated, and this is what we listed all these. And.
Yeah, good, not.
But we only had,
Like that, that's. Now I can see.
how much did we have total?
I don't want to try.
8.5.
What I thought. So
Yeah.
we only got 2.1 left.
We got 2.1 left. I mean, and it's not obligated. That there could pay for the ag extension office.
Well, what I don't know is if we can add things on it that we did not have originally on our list when we got.
Can somebody contact Samantha, see if she's available to come back? Yeah, man. Is there any department? Please.
Another three bites we got.
Y'all want to take a few minutes break?
Yeah.
We got to call, Paige, heck, what's his name? Get him to turn his phone.
Paige?
Gabe. Yeah. You'll text him?
Yeah, I'll send it around.
All right.
Is this, I see the one list. You said there was two, Tommy?
Yeah, you should got an email on August 11th.
Yeah, the other one was the plan that was actually submitted, when we got the, grant. And when, in the plan, it's just listed all of the projects that we put on the list, and it totals about almost 17.9 million.
Yeah.
And, the projects that were on there were the new cell, the landfill, modular female jail, communication Wi-Fi tower, solid waste expansion, document preservation. Anyhow, just listed all of them. So what I don't know is if we can actually fund a job that wasn't on that project list that was originally submitted.
I'm thinking that we can bring it back forward and add it to the list.
I think so.
I think that's how it works. I think if we decide today to want to fund X project, we put it on court for next week and approve it.
Well,
It's good to go.
let me think about that. I'm gonna see what else is on here that we,
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That would be the process. So we'll get Samantha back over here
Yeah, she's coming.
and, but once we gauge this, here, we'll take a little break.
Remember, we had to kick more over for the wastewater treatment plant than we originally expected.
Hey, once, while we're waiting on her to come back over and clarify the stuff on this list, do you have anything else you wanted to discuss? Because, I mean, I know we was looking at, vehicles and stuff. And I know we done a survey on who drives them out of the county and stuff like that, and how far they're being drove out of the county. I mean, until Samantha comes back, maybe we need to discuss that, because I talked with, HR yesterday. We do not have a policy in place for that. But I mean, I know the sheriff had all of his part at the annexes, and I think it's helped him tremendously on fuel. I think we have some that I looked at yesterday that I showed y'all that are traveling in excess of 100 miles round trip per day. That I think we could probably have them park at the annexes and save quite a bit. They're not being called out. So I don't know why they're traveling extra 60, 70 miles from the annex. From the annex to their place where I'm at is 60, 70 mile round trip. And then I don't know what it is, would be from yours down there. It's probably about the same. So I mean, are y'all wanting to discuss that?
What kind of money are we talking about if
We're talking fuel.
yeah, I understand. Yeah.
And some of them are asking for new vehicles now because they have high mileage on them. So you figure that, and I know I asked the sheriff, and he's gonna be able to save his vehicles another year, maybe two, with less miles on them. So that's with the cost of vehicles now and the accessibility of them, that's huge.
No, I think it's a great idea. I commend the sheriff for what he did. He helped a lot, and I think set a good precedence that we probably ought to do in the county. Just if they reside outside the county, park a vehicle inside it somewhere.
Unless you're on call.
Yeah.
Or, and I think Tommy mentioned 5 miles outside the county or something like that.
So, Commissioner, you were saying these particular one or two instances of department heads, they're not on call demand.
No.
Well, one of it, so, one driving to Little City, which
He
is,
works on a regular schedule.
yeah, man,
He works a regular schedule.
yeah, he is subject to be called out.
But if he parks at that village
I don't know
annex,
how often that is.
yeah, he can pick it up on the way to it.
If he did get called out, then we could pay mileage back for that particular incident if we had to his vehicle.
Yeah, Billy, that happens in private sector all the time. I don't know, there's a magic number, 58 cents, 6 cents a mile.
Well, if we adopt the federal number, I mean, we just had to adjust it.
Yeah, we just.
Right.
That's
Courts
what you
ago.
do for me. I mean, I get reimbursed.
Yeah.
From
So I think that's something we need to look at. I think we need to get a policy in place and put it on the court and then do that. So.
No, but I think our vehicles, I think it's a good policy to keep them in the county.
Kyle, we're gonna take it's 10:40 now. We'll come back at 10:50. So Commissioner Court is in recess until 10:50. Please,
All right, court come to order after recess. I'm back. Now Tommy's gone for the record and Sam's back. Sam, you might see it. I gotta get my list.
Okay, how do you want me to give an overview that like what I said?
No, I think we had a specific question for you.
Okay.
For the ARPA funds, we got a little $2 million
Yes,
remaining in that.
Yes, sir.
And can we change and add a project to that was not originally on the list?
Yes, sir.
Do we have to bring it to court to do that?
I would recommend that we do, yes, sir. But I'm working on my agenda items for next week anyway, so.
Is there anything that we have not funded on that list that absolutely needs to be?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so at all. There's basically that unencumbered list is what is not tied up. I would just caution the court that some of these projects may come in over the estimated budget. We developed the budget last year. We all know that the market volatility. Yeah, so we may see, in fact, I expect in the construction projects to see an increase in those costs. So I just want to make that clear that I do expect some of those numbers to fluctuate and that this unencumbered amount may not be what we actually end up having. So they're, depending on the size of the project, county may have to pitch in some dollars.
So
Go ahead.
when are we gonna get the bids back at landfill?
Well, we hope we get some today.
At the end of the day is the bid opening. Hopefully we get some. We have none yet.
We have no interest in it either. When nobody has called us and acted interested.
That'll look good.
So we very well may have to rebid.
Who built the last sale? Anybody
Not
know?
sure.
Not sure, Judge, but we did solicit 7 different companies with our solicitation, and we haven't heard of Pete.
So
From my office, not Sam's office.
yeah, so we do direct with grants. We directly solicit. We also publish in a paper of record. So I mean, we go pretty above and beyond to get.
So if we
people
don't get any,
interested.
let's find out who did it last time and make sure they're on.
Yeah, we will.
Yes, sir, we will. And I'm almost sure they are, Judge, but I'll double check.
Okay.
Yeah,
And we'll know today about 2.
because I think that Debbie suggested some and Patrick. So we had a pretty wide berth of people.
So Debbie should have known who did the last one.
Yes. So that's due today. And that one actually I think will be sufficient, the money that we have in there. The tower, I think realistically probably going to come in closer to $1 million. I mean, metal prices are just through the roof. It's nothing we can do about that.
We just added that one project at Extension Office Parks Warehouse at 480. We would still have,
Oh, you'd be fine.
would have enough. I mean, so
So we still have $1.5 million.
So, but that's for finishing it out to 480.
that's no FF&E.
Okay. So, okay.
Some good news. So Samantha, steel increases went up in increments of 10, 12, 5% over about an 18-month period. I work for a company, that's all we do is sell steel. The manufacturers, the Nucor US Steels have dropped their prices 10%. And we're hearing in Q1 to Q2 of 23, it's going to be dropped another 10%.
Okay, good.
So if we say we add,
And what's driving that right now, believe it or not, according to US Steel and Nucor Steel, to us as a manufacturer, is that quality scrap is more ready available, and postponement of projects in America are around 25 to 30% that were scheduled to go,
Yeah.
but are completely out of the budget, and demand has started to go straight down.
So we're gonna have a glut.
Yes, we are.
That's good.
It's not a bad thing for us.
so if we just on that Extension Office Park, I'm just throwing this out there. It says 480. So if we do 600, that could take care of FF&E and IT.
Well, yeah, we can't prove today. We have some put it on court next to,
That's what I'm
and
saying. If
So
court to consider.
my request would be probably 650, and here is why. I want to make sure that, because if you know how I plan. I want to make sure that it's done well, done right, and turnkey. So I want to make sure that we're including the price for the parking areas, access to the building, that we have adequate dollars included for an appropriate
Would this be one
foundation.
building?
it would be the warehouse and
No, would it be one building?
one.
Okay, good.
And then if I'm going to meddle, I would put a plug in there to have some sort of space for you Project Show to office out of while they're out there. because right now they're using the mobile command center. And there's always an issue with, so we just, once,
They looked at that.
okay, good, good, good.
Yeah. I brought that up.
Yeah, let's put it on the list, set it on, bring it
Okay.
forward.
So I'm gonna ask for 650. It'll be on the next court. And what we'll do is, you'll just approve a resolution, adding it to the ARPA plan. We'll update the plan.
And whenever you go out for bids and everything, make sure, well, I don't know, if bids are gonna be bids, they're gonna be what it is, but yeah, 650 is gonna include FF&E. And I think,
Yeah, and I try to avoid, I'm kind of tough on my projects and if there's an overage or an unexpected cost, a lot of times I will make my contractors pay for that instead of doing a change order. So, I'm pretty strict about my budgets just because they are grant dollars, but yes, we will do that. So what we're going to do, we're actually in the process of working with George right now, is to procure an architect and engineer for the solid waste expansion. And we'll utilize that same architect and engineer for this project as well. We're adjusting the wording in that procurement so that we can pretty much roll these at the same time.
Good.
Okay. Anything else other than my?
So that additional funds that's hopefully will be left, is there a deadline for adding more projects?
December 2026, it has to be obligated. And I think it's 28, it has to be spent.
So we still have some time
Oh,
to
yes.
add another project if it's not left.
Absolutely. And that's one reason that I did kind of recommend that we just kind of, add this one in. That's fine. I can roll 2 construction projects at one time.
Well, that's a building that really needs to be replaced hardware.
I will vouch for that as I worked there for 5 years and I've been gone 4. And when I left, it was cracking in the middle and the floors were like this and there was a plant growing out of one of the walls. So I'll vouch for that. I will.
Hey, that's good for air quality. Plants growing in.
Yes,
Thanks, Sam.
you're welcome. Is that it?
I think so.
Okay.
Anybody else?
All right. Thank you, guys.
Too many.
Yeah, it is. Hey, Judge, we were talking just a little while ago during the break, and we know we got a few pretty good sized capital projects we need, and Road and Bridge has got a shop warehouse here. We're talking about doing another CO for the west side building, the Chambers Parkway community building, the tax office, Road and Bridge warehouse. And, look, see, there might be another 1 or 2 we need to put on that. And just doing them over to life, funding them over to life of the project. We had to sell them McLeod, but when we went into this, we had originally already allocated all of the money from selling McLeod because we took the money from the Chambers Parkway ball fields, and we took the money from EW4, and we funded the Winnie project with that.
So
Along with the library, I believe.
what amount are you talking about?
I don't know that number yet. We're gonna need to get that number.
Yeah, we have to have it for INS. So if we do that, then we don't need to do a tax note.
so we're looking at 1 tax note. You're saying 1 or 2?
Well,
I don't know why you
you
couldn't.
can't do it with one tax note.
No, not tax notes.
No, I know you said CO, he said tax note. And that's what I'm saying, we can't do 2 tax notes. So you have to do a CO or a tax note and a
Well,
CO.
the tax note would have been a more shorter term. Just
Several
because we're
years.
doing vehicles, and we would amortize those over the life of the vehicles. You don't want to do a note for 10 years or 20 years. for the last 4 years.
No, absolutely, that's why tax note,
Right,
the way it is.
but, I think we need to fund these things over the life of the facility, whatever it is.
I'm okay with it. I mean, we just have to figure out exactly what we got to fund, want to fund, need to fund, and then Aaron can get with our financial folks. It's gotta be done pretty quick.
We know what the cost is gonna be on the building, because we're just building one exactly like it right now. So we got really good numbers on that.
Yes.
And the money should be there already for the ball fields. They should be, we had that in the sale money. We know what the number is on the tax bill, and I assume, Your architecture's coming along on it, right?
Yep.
Do we have that number?
Should be for the tax office portion should be around 1.4. And then the health services building will be around 1.6.
So Aaron, you think we'd sell CO this year or would it be next year?
Maybe early next year.
You'd be pushing it,
Spring next year.
it'd be pushing it to do it this year, wouldn't it?
Well, because you want to put the INS rate and, your debt payment and your tax rate. And so, I mean, even if you do tax note or a CO or, those are like spring of next year where you can issue it. Then it affects your next year's tax rate.
So you don't increase your INS for this year, for this next tax year.
So you would issue that in spring.
So one thing to think about we could possibly do. We need to get started on that west side building like ASAP. So we could move the money that from the sale of McLeod was going to go to the ball field and start on the building. And then just kind of swap it around.
Yeah, there's some things we can do to get started.
Now, we need to get
Yes,
started
I
on
mean,
the
it's
building.
been 3 years probably. Coming. So maybe you talk to our financial advisor and see, what they advise. Do you do a tax note and CO? Do you put it all on the CO? Do I know?
Yeah, I'll get tax note, CO, and I'll get something for an election to go that way too. And then I guess really the next thing is finding a number. Because
What's our cutoff date for November?
August 20. Yeah, it's next week. Let me look. I think I'm trying to put something on the ballot this Monday, but let me just make sure.
Next month.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's here.
That's what I'm saying. So,
I wouldn't mind that at all. See what the response is. So.
Doesn't bother me.
well, we need to go forward with the tax note. If we're gonna do that, because we've got to do these projects that
The
have
vehicle.
these capital vehicles and equipment.
Hey, we got a total.
I like the idea of doing them separate anyhow, because if we do the tax note, we can do it for 5 years or something like that. In a shorter period of time, those vehicles are not gonna last. We do the buildings, that's gonna be a 20, 30-year note.
Yeah, that's what it should be done.
Yeah.
It'll be next Tuesday. Other things are already on the court agenda for next Tuesday.
So why don't we put that on the court agenda, just in case we wanna go that route?
Do we have to have all the wording together by then, or won't we?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, the wording laid out, what project's gonna be on there. And you're gonna have to have a cost, right?
Well, yeah, that needs to be on your agenda, your commissioner's court agenda.
That's what I'm saying, but
And that all the wording by law now, I mean,
Yeah.
it's very specific on any
About-
wording.
So it says, what commissioner's court approves.
Obligation, principal amount of the debt obligation.
But in the agenda, in the item that Commissioner's Court approves, it needs to say that. So
So
that's
that
where,
way it's ready for the order, because the order is already on the agenda, and we'll change the order to include it.
That's what I'm saying, same thing that's going on balance, gotta go on the agenda.
Correct.
Yes.
yeah,
The
and
vote has to
Yeah.
take place on Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll call him today.
So,
So we got 3 buildings we know of.
that's what I'm gonna say, what do we wanna put on there?
Was there anything else on here that's dire need of a?
well, you two and Sam's on the committee, so I think I'll put it together.
Well, we gotta meet today, Sam, for tomorrow.
Well, next time watching, she's gone.
I guarantee-
She very well may be watching.
So you got the maintenance shop, you got the
Road and Bridge shop,
Parks and Rec shop.
No, Parks and Rec shop are going to go on the, are we gonna do Parks and Rec on that?
Oh, we're doing that on our
Yeah.
Thank you.
tax office.
Tax office, three buildings, Road and Bridge, tax office, and City by you,
Community building.
building.
the building.
I thought you.
Well, we know, we'll find a way to get started on it anyhow.
Well, and we should be able to do that without going up in taxes.
If we get into November, yeah.
Yeah, because
Well, I think we should be able to.
Okay, so what money we're looking at? How much is that?
How much,
The 1.4.
how much is our
1.8.
Westside complex building?
was it,
With the field and everything, Commissioner.
No, not.
the building,
It's 16.
no, that, the fields was like 6, it's more like 4. Sitting right here,
Yeah.
3.5, 4. I also remember the same number. I just remember.
Around 4 is what I think.
Yeah, me too. Building, the disasters and.
So we got 4, we got 2 million here, and it's 6. Then I heard 1.5 million a while ago on the other one, so that's $7.5 million. Does that
You
sound right?
got, well, you got about 3 million infrastructure on that Chambers Parkway side.
So we go ahead and fund the whole 3 million,
You're gonna have to.
Yeah, okay.
That on
and then we just pay it back.
But
That's 3 million infrastructure, and then once you go more vertical, then it's whatever's on top of that.
Yeah, you're right.
So
so we're at 10.5.
10.
So then will also be, a special election. The bond part would.
Another thing
But
to,
it'd be on the ballot. I mean, it'd just be a special into the November for counties and
Here, we
state
need to-
officers, humans. So this would be a
Special election put on it.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Hey, we need to know where we need to be at without raising taxes. With no increase.
Your bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't want no increase.
Well, we've got to already set our tax rate for this.
Yeah,
well, you're not, yeah, if you don't do a CO or a bond or whatever till next year, it's not gonna be until the next year, the 24.
I know,
That you pay, make your first payment 9/10.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, there's money that you capture for next year, but I don't know if we get anything done for next year. Aaron, is there any way to get a tax note done this year? And then another one next year? No way to get one done this year?
It would hit spring of next year, we would issue it, but you can also do like a reimbursement resolution. I don't know what that time frame for reimbursement resolution is to catch things, like you start doing stuff now, you can capture that in the tax note, but I don't know exactly that.
Yeah, we've done that
that
before.
time
now.
period.
okay, Billy, whenever you wanna meet tomorrow, let me. Whatever time. That's fine, good. If we need
But-
to.
Well, the tax note, we still got time to do the tax note for the vehicles for this.
And then this here will be on. About.
Yeah, and then we'll put the buildings on the ballot.
So, can we, why do we not have time to do a tax note this year?
Because you want to capture that first debt payment in your INS, so we're gonna set your INS for next year. For this year, like now,
So we're going to do a tax note. We'll go ahead and,
so. You're setting, so the rate, the INS rate you have is gonna pay for next year's debt.
correct.
And so if you issue something right now, you won't be able to. You wouldn't be able to put that in your your INS rate. So
Because you haven't actually issued it yet, is what you're saying.
Right, but if you do
Okay.
in the spring sometime, then you'll have enough time to figure out how much your debt's gonna be in 20.
For 24. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
All right, so what, if y'all gone over all the rest of this? there anything else? I know we need to leave pretty quick. Going to hear Dr. Babin speak.
I don't think there's anything else we need to cover today. I mean, we could hit it after next week. I mean,
Aaron, anything?
No, I got the couple changes that y'all made earlier, so, you know.
and the only other thing I brought up. Employees. We've got about two project manager. Yeah, that's $100,000. Maintenance, yeah, maintenance project manager, hiring another one. Well, if we build these buildings, we're not doing it next year, you might need them.
No, you're gonna, yeah, that's, you don't need them. I don't see any way we can do without that.
But with that money should be included, the overseeing of those projects should be included in the capital debt that's issued against it. Is that not right?
That's the only thing.
When you finance a building and we're taking it up, the project manager and stuff can be charged against that on the capital side instead of putting it on the general fund operations side.
That's a good question.
So we can roll that money into the note.
But if it's county employee, I'm not
I
sure.
don't think we can.
I
I didn't have to ask that question.
I'll ask.
I like the way you're thinking of.
No, I'm pretty sure you can.
Okay, good.
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that we can charge that against the project and pay it off with long-term debt.
Oh, I hope we can.
So Aaron, where do we end up? Y'all probably already talked about it, sorry.
I'm not understanding, is this gonna be a project manager that will oversee one project?
No.
Those three projects.
And then once those three projects are complete,
There'll be other projects.
There'll be other projects.
It's one, Mike, no, the other Mike does.
Gafford.
That's what Gafford does.
Right. And you know, in Road and
Yeah,
Bridge,
he's got a plate full.
the engineers and the people that we're using in Road and Bridge, we could charge those to the projects against that CO, you know, on the road projects. I don't know why we're not doing that. I mean, technically we should.
Good.
Pound money, Bill.
Looks like good. So,
No, I mean, we should. It's really a capital project and
no,
it should go to that.
All right, so looking at salary requests, the increases in the new employees, I see we've gone from 3.2 million to 2 million. So that's good. I mean, still a big number.
No, we still got some work to do.
Yeah, it's still a big number, but
I think we're a lot closer.
so where are we on the bottom line of the budgets?
3.2.
We still 3.2.
3.2, that doesn't include the shipping the over.
Yeah, we got 400 something thousand out of that.
Yeah, so that was.
Out of what?
We got 450,000 roughly out.
So if you kick those things over, that would be roughly around 700,000.
And then on the road and bridge, we cut 2 million off of that with the buildings.
So that was in the.
And then if we take that, project manager off, that's got another 140,000. Or 120.
Yeah, we're on.
I don't know if we can do that, seriously. Well,
Well,
think about it.
Because I mean, I don't know. I think we can. I know we've had that discussion before. And we've talked about with the road projects and being able to charge those against the project cost.
We got to pick up some of it later.
Yeah.
because you're gonna have to budget for him. And then you know, if you can reimburse yourself out of the tax note or whatever it is that they're working on.
that's what.
Well, I'm saying you can budget it, you just don't hire it. You just don't do it until you got the projects and the funding there.
Okay, well, you got to budget it.
Yeah.
We're working on the budget right now. Okay, so the committee, once y'all get all those changes back together, let's try to meet. I don't know, the end of the week, what's today, Tuesday, maybe Thursday or something.
Do you want to do a special meeting before Tuesday?
Let the committee work on it first and then we'll see. No, I think we can do it Tuesday. Right? Our time, I don't know if y'all went over the timeline, but Aaron's got the timeline there, so we're still in good shape. Get that done.
But I'm just saying we'll push for time on the
On the,
election.
yeah,
Oh, you're talking about,
You know, just make sure that's the way we want to go.
well, it's gotta be on court on Tuesday, period.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we have another special
it
meeting
would have to be
this week.
the Friday after 11 o'clock, after 11:20.
We gotta post, so. Just a
But do we know what we're putting on the agenda? Is just to discuss possibility of the bond.
Well, we could just do another budget workshop. Just give us one more chance to circle the wagons.
No, that's fine.
I do, right here.
Lauren, post it for quick as you can on Friday. 11:30, 11:40.
Yeah, and then we got to have the other posting ready because we got to post it Friday too.
Do you have a jury tomorrow? No, they can't. Okay.
Commissioner, you still want that number? West side of $6 million just for the community building.
6 million for community building.
Yes, sir.
I don't know.
That's a tip wall building too, as a
You know,
tank rated.
let's get early as we can on Friday. Everybody's got stuff to do, I'm sure, so. Well, we can work through lunch or whatever. Supposed to 11:30.
But then,
Friday, as soon as we post. So from there, then if we're gonna put something on the regular agenda for a bond, then
We'll have it ready. We just may have to tweak it a little bit.
okay. Anything else? 11:21, we are adjourned.